How a Sigma male reacts to a younger woman testing his patience. When it comes to understanding how a Sigma male reacts, especially when his patience is being tested by someone, there's a lot more going on than meets the eye. You see, Sigma males are known for being independent and self-reliant. They don't like to get caught up in drama or unnecessary emotional exchanges. They tend to stay calm, cool, and collected, even in stressful situations. But, how exactly does a Sigma male handle it when a younger woman tests his patience? This video will explore that in detail and explain exactly what a Sigma male does when his patience is put to the test. Number 1. Non-reactive silence. One of the first things you'll notice about a Sigma male is that when someone tries to test his patience, he doesn't immediately react. Instead, he often remains silent. This might seem like he's ignoring the situation, but it's actually a clever way for him to process the situation calmly. By staying quiet, he's taking the time to gather his thoughts, figure out what's going on, and plan his response without giving in to any emotional impulses. Silence is his way of maintaining control and not letting anyone stir him up emotionally. It's not that he's indifferent, but rather that he's choosing to stay grounded and unaffected by external pressure. Instead of reacting impulsively like some might expect, he chooses to observe and think things through. In this silence, he's silently evaluating the situation and considering the best course of action. Staying silent doesn't mean he's weak or unsure of what's going on. In fact, it's often a sign of strength. A Sigma male knows that sometimes saying nothing speaks louder than a response. He avoids adding fuel to the fire, which could escalate the situation further. By not reacting immediately, he avoids falling into traps or playing into the other person's game. Instead, he maintains his emotional distance, keeping control of the interaction. In a way, this silence serves as his shield, protecting his inner peace and preventing unnecessary conflict. The silence also allows him time to decide whether the situation even requires a response. Sometimes, Sigma males know that reacting is unnecessary. If the behavior being tested is trivial or unimportant, he will ignore it. It's not worth his time, and he knows this. So, instead of getting emotionally involved, he simply chooses to observe and wait for the right moment to act. By doing this, he keeps his energy intact and avoids unnecessary emotional exhaustion. Number 2. Observing behavior carefully. Another key trait of a Sigma male when his patience is tested is that he becomes a very careful observer. Rather than jumping into a confrontation or getting frustrated, he takes a step back and watches closely. He doesn't just see what's happening on the surface, he pays attention to the little details. He's looking for signs of why the younger woman might be testing his patience, and whether it's a deliberate attempt to provoke him. This is a huge part of the Sigma male's personality, his ability to read situations deeply and accurately. He doesn't make quick judgments based on emotions or surface-level interactions. Instead, he stays composed and focuses on the bigger picture. While others might get caught up in the moment, he's thinking about the overall dynamics at play. This careful observation allows him to understand the true intentions behind someone's actions. If he feels the test is unintentional or comes from misunderstanding, he might choose to let it slide. But if he notices it's a deliberate attempt to challenge him, he may take further steps to address it. Sigma males are also skilled at reading body language and subtle cues. These nonverbal signals often give him more insight into the situation than the words being spoken. By observing the other person's tone, posture, and movements, he can determine whether this test of patience is something that requires a response. This skill in observation helps him avoid reacting impulsively, making decisions based on logic and what he has gathered through his careful attention to detail. In some cases, the Sigma male might even use the moment of observation as a chance to reflect on his own behavior. He might ask himself questions like, "Am I reacting appropriately to this?" or "Is this really worth my energy?" By being in tune with both his own feelings and the situation at hand, he is able to maintain his composure and decide whether to engage or not. Number 3. Maintaining emotional control. When a younger woman tests a Sigma male's patience, one thing you can always count on is his emotional control. Sigma males are masters of staying calm, even when emotions might run high. They don't let their feelings take over or cloud their judgment. Instead, they keep a clear head and respond in a way that is thoughtful and measured. This ability to maintain emotional control is not something they develop overnight, it's a learned skill that they've honed over time through experience and self-discipline. This emotional control helps Sigma males avoid getting involved in unnecessary drama. When someone is testing his patience, he doesn't react with anger, frustration, or irritation. Instead, he chooses to stay composed. This gives him an advantage in dealing with people who might try to push his buttons or provoke him into reacting emotionally. By staying calm, he not only keeps control over the situation but also maintains a sense of dignity and self-respect. He doesn't allow external circumstances to dictate his emotional state. Instead, he makes a conscious choice to stay grounded. Furthermore, maintaining emotional control allows him to think more clearly. When emotions are running high, it's easy to make rash decisions or say things you might regret. But Sigma males avoid this by staying level-headed. This doesn't mean they're robots without feelings, it just means they are very careful about how and when they express their emotions. They know that sometimes it's better to hold back and wait for the right time to speak up. By not allowing his emotions to get the better of him, the Sigma male avoids escalating the situation unnecessarily. If a younger woman is trying to push his buttons, he's likely to keep calm and not take the bait. He knows that in most situations, reacting emotionally only makes things worse. Instead, he keeps his cool, making him seem more in control and unshakable. This, in turn, makes it harder for anyone to manipulate or provoke him into an emotional response. Number 4. Setting boundaries. One of the most effective ways a Sigma male deals with someone testing his patience is by setting clear boundaries. Rather than getting angry or frustrated, he simply draws a line and makes it clear what behavior is acceptable and what is not. Sigma males are very aware of their limits, and they have no problem communicating these boundaries in a calm, assertive manner. Setting boundaries is a way for Sigma males to protect their time and energy. They don't allow people to push them into situations that don't align with their values or their goals. If a younger woman is testing his patience in a way that feels disrespectful or disruptive, the Sigma male will calmly let her know that this behavior is not acceptable. However, he doesn't do this in an aggressive or confrontational way. Instead, he's direct and straightforward. For a Sigma male, setting boundaries is about respect. He respects himself enough not to let others push him too far, and he expects others to respect his personal space and his time. If he feels like someone is crossing a line, he will calmly communicate his limits. This is a key part of his ability to remain emotionally strong and self-reliant. He doesn't feel the need to explain himself endlessly, he simply states his boundaries and expects them to be respected. In some cases, if the younger woman continues to test his patience after the boundaries have been set, the Sigma male may choose to disengage entirely. He knows that engaging further would be a waste of his time and energy. By setting boundaries, he's essentially saying, "This is who I am, and this is what I will tolerate." It's a sign of strength and self-respect, and it often leads to more productive interactions in the future. Number 5. Minimal engagement. When a younger woman tests his patience, a Sigma male usually keeps things simple and straightforward. He doesn't waste his time engaging in lengthy conversations or arguments that are designed to provoke an emotional response. Instead, he responds in a way that is minimal and to the point. He doesn't feel the need to explain himself endlessly or get bogged down by unnecessary drama. If the situation doesn't require much attention, he keeps his responses short and direct. This minimal engagement helps him avoid getting too involved in the situation, which allows him to conserve his energy. Sigma males understand that not every conflict is worth their time. They choose to give only as much as the situation requires. If the younger woman is trying to get a rise out of him, his minimal response will likely frustrate her, because she's not getting the reaction she expects. He doesn't feel the need to go on and on, because he knows that sometimes less is more. This approach also helps him maintain control over the situation. By giving just enough of a response, he keeps the interaction on his terms. He avoids being dragged into a long back and forth and instead focuses on preserving his peace and energy. Sigma males are aware that wasting time on unnecessary conversations is draining, so they limit their involvement to only what's essential. The less he engages, the less room there is for drama to unfold. In addition, keeping the interaction minimal is a way for Sigma males to communicate that they are not interested in playing games. They don't want to waste time or engage in a back and forth that won't lead to anything productive. Their minimal engagement is a subtle way of showing that they are only willing to invest their time in interactions that align with their values and goals. This helps them avoid being dragged into situations where their patience could be unnecessarily tested again. Number 6. Using humor as a defense mechanism. While Sigma males are often serious and focused individuals, they also know how to use humor to diffuse tense situations. When a younger woman is testing his patience, a Sigma male may respond with a lighthearted joke or sarcastic remark. Humor becomes his defense mechanism, helping to lighten the mood and shift the energy in a more relaxed direction. Humor allows him to keep his emotional distance while still engaging in the interaction. Instead of getting drawn into frustration or anger, he uses humor to shift the dynamic. By making a witty or sarcastic comment, he can quickly diffuse any tension and maintain control of the situation. Humor also serves as a way for him to subtly communicate that he's not easily rattled, and that he's not going to take the situation too seriously. In many cases, the younger woman might be testing his patience to see how far she can push him. By using humor, the Sigma male makes it clear that he's not going to play into her game. Instead of getting upset or reacting emotionally, he remains in control of the situation, keeping things light and unbothered. Humor gives him a way to interact without becoming emotionally invested in the outcome. This use of humor also showcases the Sigma male's confidence and wit. He's not intimidated by the situation, and he's clever enough to use humor as a tool to maintain his composure. By responding with a well-timed joke or a dry remark, he subtly communicates that he is unbothered by the testing of his patience and that he's not someone who can be easily manipulated or provoked into reacting emotionally. Number 7. Internal reflection. Another way a Sigma male reacts when his patience is tested is through internal reflection. Instead of reacting right away, he often takes a moment to step back and think about what just happened. He may briefly withdraw from the situation, not in anger or frustration, but to process everything in his mind. He likes to reflect on the interaction before responding, to make sure that his reaction aligns with his true feelings and values. This internal reflection is a way for him to regain control of his thoughts and emotions. If something has bothered him or if his patience has been tested, he doesn't immediately show it. Instead, he takes a quiet moment to ask himself whether the situation is worth addressing, or if he should just let it go. This pause allows him to think more clearly and assess the situation without being clouded by impulsive emotions. Reflection also helps the Sigma male avoid overreacting. When emotions are high, it's easy to say or do things that you might regret later. By taking a moment to reflect, the Sigma male ensures that he responds in a way that is measured and appropriate. He considers what is truly important and whether engaging further is necessary. This ability to reflect allows him to make thoughtful decisions, rather than reacting on impulse. By the time he does decide to speak or take action, he's thought through the situation carefully. He's not someone who acts without considering the consequences, and this internal reflection is one of the ways he maintains his emotional control and self-reliance. It's a practice that ensures his actions are always aligned with his values, and it helps him navigate even the most frustrating situations without losing his composure. Number 8. Remaining aloof and detached. Sigma males are naturally aloof and detached, and this trait comes in handy when someone tests their patience. When a younger woman pushes his buttons, the Sigma male may choose to emotionally detach himself from the situation entirely. Instead of engaging in a heated exchange, he might withdraw and become less involved, creating a sense of distance between himself and the person testing him. This aloofness is not a sign of coldness or indifference, rather, it's a way for him to maintain control over his emotions and his energy. By remaining detached, the Sigma male doesn't allow himself to be dragged into unnecessary emotional entanglements. He keeps his distance because he knows that getting too involved could lead to frustration or emotional burnout. In some cases, this emotional detachment may be exactly what the younger woman doesn't expect. She may be trying to provoke a reaction from him, but by staying aloof, he doesn't give her the satisfaction of knowing she's getting under his skin. His emotional distance sends the message that he's not interested in playing her game or allowing her to manipulate him. Instead, he chooses to remain unaffected by the situation. By remaining aloof and detached, the Sigma male also avoids creating unnecessary tension or conflict. He doesn't feel the need to argue or prove a point. He simply steps back, observes, and allows the situation to unfold without getting emotionally involved. This detachment is part of his self-reliant nature, ensuring that he doesn't waste energy on things that don't serve him. It's a clear sign of his independence and emotional strength. Number 9. Seeing the bigger picture. Sigma males have the ability to look beyond the present moment and see the bigger picture. When his patience is tested, especially by a younger woman, he doesn't get caught up in the immediate frustration. Instead, he takes a step back and evaluates the situation as a whole. He understands that life is full of challenges and tests, and what might seem like an irritating moment is just a small part of a larger journey. This ability to see the bigger picture helps the Sigma male stay calm and composed, no matter what's going on in the present. Instead of getting bogged down by a single incident, he keeps his focus on his long-term goals and values. He knows that letting small things bother him will only take him off course. So, he uses his broader perspective to put the situation into context and keep his patience intact. This approach also helps him avoid reacting impulsively to things that don't really matter in the grand scheme of life. Sigma males understand that not every test of patience is worth responding to. By focusing on the bigger picture, they are able to decide whether the situation is important enough to address or if it's just a passing moment. This mindset helps them maintain their emotional stability and avoid getting caught up in unnecessary drama. By seeing the bigger picture, the Sigma male remains grounded and doesn't let small frustrations derail his progress. He understands that life is full of tests, and not every test requires a reaction. This long-term perspective allows him to stay on track and stay focused on what truly matters, while keeping his emotional energy intact. Number 10. Choosing the right time to speak up. When a Sigma male's patience is tested, one of his key strategies is knowing when to speak up. He understands the power of timing and often chooses to remain silent until the right moment arrives. Unlike others who might respond immediately in a burst of emotion, the Sigma male waits until he has processed the situation and feels that a response is truly needed. He carefully chooses the best time to speak, ensuring that his words will have the greatest impact and that the conversation will be constructive rather than reactive. By waiting for the right moment, the Sigma male ensures that his response is thoughtful and measured. He doesn't rush into situations with knee-jerk reactions but instead takes the time to assess the situation from all angles. This patient approach to speaking gives him control over the conversation, allowing him to express himself in a calm, collected manner. When he does choose to speak, his words are deliberate, precise, and impactful. He knows that the right words at the right time can help resolve the situation more effectively than a rushed or impulsive response. Moreover, choosing the right time to speak ensures that the Sigma male is not drawn into unnecessary conflict. He is strategic about when he intervenes, ensuring that his words are heard and respected. His ability to wait for the perfect moment is a sign of his emotional intelligence and self-discipline. Rather than jumping into the conversation at the first sign of tension, he allows the situation to unfold, trusting that when he does speak, he will have the upper hand. This ability to pick the right moment is something that sets Sigma males apart from others. While some may react impulsively or emotionally, the Sigma male uses patience as his tool. He's comfortable with silence, understanding that sometimes saying nothing is more powerful than rushing to speak. When he finally does speak, it's not only because it's necessary, but also because he has thought through his words and is ready to handle whatever comes next. Number 11. Confidence in his own identity. One of the most powerful ways a Sigma male reacts to being tested is through his unwavering confidence in who he is. He doesn't feel the need to prove himself to anyone, especially when it comes to someone trying to push his buttons. His self-assurance comes from within, and he doesn't rely on external validation to feel good about himself. This confidence allows him to stay calm and composed, no matter what anyone else is doing or saying. The Sigma male knows his worth, and this knowledge is what keeps him grounded when his patience is being tested. He understands that other people may try to provoke him or challenge him, but he doesn't let their actions define his mood or reactions. Instead of getting frustrated or angry, he responds with calm and quiet confidence. He remains centered because he knows that no one else's behavior can affect his sense of self unless he lets it. Because of his strong sense of identity, the Sigma male is also less likely to be drawn into power struggles or competitions with others. He has no interest in proving that he's better than anyone else. Rather, he simply focuses on being the best version of himself. When someone tries to test his patience, he doesn't see it as an opportunity for a battle of egos. Instead, he remains focused on what matters to him, whether that's his goals, his personal values, or his emotional peace. This confidence also gives the Sigma male the strength to walk away from situations that don't serve him. If a younger woman's behavior is becoming too much or if he feels his patience being tested beyond his limits, he's not afraid to disengage. He doesn't need to stick around or fight for validation. He understands that sometimes walking away is the most powerful choice, as it shows that he values himself and his time above all else. Number 12. Grace under pressure. One of the most remarkable traits of a Sigma male when his patience is tested is his ability to remain graceful under pressure. No matter how stressful or challenging the situation may be, he maintains a sense of calm and composure. Instead of succumbing to frustration or anger, he carries himself with a quiet confidence and dignity. This grace under pressure allows him to navigate difficult situations without losing his cool or allowing others to see how much he may be affected. The Sigma male's grace comes from his deep sense of self-control. He understands that staying calm and collected is not just about keeping others from seeing his frustration, but also about maintaining his own peace of mind. By staying graceful under pressure, he shows that he's not easily shaken and that he can handle anything life throws his way. His calmness is infectious, and it often has a soothing effect on those around him, even in the midst of tension or conflict. This ability to stay composed, no matter the circumstances, sets the Sigma male apart from others. While most people would struggle to keep their emotions in check when tested, the Sigma male simply remains unfazed. He doesn't feel the need to let everyone know what he's going through, because his internal strength allows him to stay calm and maintain his dignity. This grace under pressure reflects his ability to rise above challenges without letting them dictate his actions or emotional state. In situations where his patience is being tested, the Sigma male's grace is a key part of his response. He doesn't allow the situation to control him, and he doesn't let it get the best of him. His ability to stay graceful and composed helps him navigate even the most difficult tests of patience with ease, showing that he's not just a man of action but also one of poise and wisdom.
And do share with your friends so we may continue to create them. To see more videos like this, subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Additionally, make sure to check out our other videos. Thank you for watching.